Hi everyone, this is your instructional video for lab number 3, minerals. So once you're in Blackboard, go to Lessons, Unit 1, Lesson 3, Lab 3. This is all about mineral identification. Just like the other two labs, it's going to take a minimum of 3 hours to complete this lab, so make sure you budget your time, set aside enough time to make sure that you're truly looking at the minerals in detail. So I'm already in Blackboard. I'm going to click the blue link to open the folder for mineral identification. It has some learning objectives for lab number 3. So you're going to describe the characteristics and the formation of minerals. You will also primarily be focusing and describing properties used in identification minerals. So there's going to be 18 minerals in this lab that you are tasked with identifying using different properties and different tools. Now, one thing that's going to vary a little bit differently from the guide is that you are not required to do any specific gravity measurements for this lab. You can do it as a tool to help identify minerals, but you're not going to be required to notate that and turn those measurements into me for credit. Now, how do you prepare to complete Lab 3? One, you should review Lab 3 Mineral Identification PDF. So this is your lab material that's provided by Hands-On Labs. So you can scroll through, it has your learning objectives, the time allocation, what materials you need, and some background information. So I'm going to scroll through this and show you the part that you are not required to do for this lab, which is exercise 1, specific gravity. So you're not required to do this. Again, it's optional. If you want to do it and you think it might help you identify minerals, go for it. There's nothing stopping you. We're mostly going to focus on, let's see if I can scroll to it, exercise 2, mineral identification. So this is the part that I'm really focusing on for this lab. 2, you want to check out the additional resources provided. So I've attached several PDFs. So I have a mineral ID information. So a mineral is identified by its properties. So if you want a little bit more understanding about different types of properties and how to identify those, this is an excerpt from another textbook that I find is really useful, that it really boils it down to the basic information that you need to know for those properties. Next, we have a mineral identification step-by-step chart. So if you want to look at it as color, luster, streak, hardness, crystal form, cleavage, specific gravity, and then the miscellaneous test, and then you're going to make your identification. So it kind of provides you an outline for how to identify each mineral. So go through those. It's a good place to help if you're not sure where to start with identifying minerals. Lastly, there is a condensed mineral identification key. So this has different minerals that are on there, what their names are, and some of their different properties. Now, not all of the minerals that are in the lab kit are on this identification key. It's just a starting place to help you out. All right, lastly, you want to make sure that you have all the required material, student supplied and lab kit supplied, to complete this lab. So what do you need to complete this lab? You need the handheld magnifier, you need the hydrochloric acid, the glass scratch plate, the porcelain streak plate, and your bag of minerals. You should have 18 in it. Now there's some other materials that I think might be useful that are not included in your kit. So that might be a magnet, a penny, a scratcher, or a nail, and some water. It's always important to remember when you're looking at rocks and minerals that how it looks when it's wet versus how it looks when it's dry can maybe change your opinion of it. So make sure that when you're trying to identify them, that you write down characteristics of how it looks when it's dry and when it's wet. Now, once you feel comfortable with all that information, go ahead, click the light blue link for Lab 3 Mineral Identification, and start your quiz for your lab. If at any point you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Thanks!